Hello everyone. Today we are going to look into how to take measurements on machine stock in NC-Simul. In your NC-Simul project, you can insert a breakpoint to allow the simulation to stop at a certain point. In this example, I'm going to insert a breakpoint before the next tool change. So let's search the next tool change. This is the tool change, so I'm going to insert the breakpoint here. All right. Now let's head over to the simulation, and we need to set the mode to the breakpoint mode and make sure everything is reset before we run the simulation. And I always like to see the side-by-side view of the machine and the part view, so I'm going to switch to that. Here we go. And let's also hide the toolpaths for better visibility. And with that, let's start the simulation. Alright, so the simulation has now stopped at our specified line. There are two features really we can use here. The first is the comparison, and the second is the measurements. Now comparison will tell us how much we are undercutting or overcutting the material by until that line of code in the NC program. So I'm going to start with the comparison mode first. So this is the comparison stock that has been created, and the tolerance can be adjusted as required. So if I click on this point, I can probably show you. So this tells us that we are undercutting the material by this amount, which means that we have this much material left to cut before we hit our tolerance. Now on the flip side, if I want to take direct measurements on my cut stock, and this is especially helpful in situations where we need to know the amount of material we are leaving before proceeding with our NC program, we can take direct measurements on our cut stock. Let's head over to measurements, and I'm going to use the point-to-point feature. So let's drop a point here, for instance, and then on the other side, just to know how much material we are left with at this point. All right, so I have dropped the two reference points, and we can see that we have this much material left over. Based on that, we can make better decisions if any changes are required in our programming strategy, so we can stay within our tolerance. Thank you for watching.